course he's gonna start barking.
You know what time it is if you got me in this element and you hearing them keys behind these hard doors and these doors don't open up all the time for when you want to just get out and go to the mall. This is another edition of BBFLY where we talk about mass incarceration. Real hard topic and terrible thing was going on in the urban city. And tonight I brought with me one of my dear closest brothers by the name of Edric Brown. Peace, King.
Peace, true. Peace, true. Peace, brother.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure to be here to have this discussion. It's something that we really need to address in our community so it could stop happening and it could stop being a perpetual circle that, goes from generation to generation in families.
One of the main things I think what hurts us is when we look at how did it all really generate? Where did it come up to? Where who thought of it to say, hey, let's make this a business instead of about rehab?
Well, you have to look at it, why is it a business? Because once they moved away from slavery and they had sharecroppers, they still needed to work these fields. So in the South, a black man could get picked up for anything. Let's say, for instance, a young black boy is 14 walking down the street, cop pulls up on him, yeah, you're guilty of this, throws him in jail. They had chain gangs. So they're not just out there breaking rock for no reason. That's free labor. So they make it easy. And that's where a lot of these companies, it was always privatized to a degree because in the South, for instance, you will go and get a group of guys from a jail and they'll go and clear land. They'll clear sugarcane. They'll clear trees to build something. It's free labor. So if you have a young boy, again, that's getting picked up for something that he didn't do, he has no means of getting a lawyer, and they're telling him that you're going to do 20 years, and if you fight it, you may do 40 years, but if you just cop a plea, you're going to do 5. They got 5 years of free labor and became that business. That's not the whole thing in a nutshell, but if you just look at portions of it, that's part of why it exists. It's we know the U.S. has the most people incarcerated anywhere in the world, period. Flat. So how are they generating all of these different Made in America brands? They're getting people that are in America, that are incarcerated, to work for them.
For peanuts. For peanuts.
Yeah, for peanuts.
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me, because like I told cats, you know what I mean? I'm going to sit down one day and really just build and let them, because I know both sides of this highway.
Absolutely.
And as crazy as it is, my story is more like bombshell and like, whoa, because I kind of infiltrated the system.
Okay.
Because those that was supposed to be monitoring me was my like cotton candy, if you understand what I mean.
Got you.
And everywhere I went, I was picking cotton.
Got you.
And then I learned that even though, you can be confined, there's even more people that's watching you that's confined and mentally unbalanced. And it was just crazy to be able to be shipped around like we was canned goods, man. It was crazy. But you know what I mean? Before I move on, This is a call-in show also. So the call-in number is 1-800-975-5124. Extension 712 will bring you directly to the God himself, and you can join the conversation. And if the conversation is too heavy for you, you don't want to call in, just continue to listen, because this is something that's plaguing the neighborhood. It's plaguing the neighborhoods. And it is sad. But Brother Edric, you know what I mean? I don't want to put him in your business, but you know what I mean? You are an actor, and you you did put together a nice documentary. So that's why I thought it would be real great, because you have both sides of the story, because you spoke to COs.
I spoke to COs. I spent time. I did a theater program in prisons. I did mentoring in prisons from upstate New York to Texas. And I spent time, like you said, on both sides of it. I would go perform in prisons in upstate New York and see my friends that just disappeared from the street. I didn't know where they were. And then when I'm performing on stage in their prisons, I would look out and see them. I'm like, oh, that's where he was at. And I would see my friends that I grew up with that disappeared from the neighborhood. A lot of people don't realize this. In New York, there was a term called $1 Million Block. You can Google anything that I'm saying. Always research anything a man's saying. Truth can be tested. Lies cannot. There's certain neighborhoods in this inner city that are called $1 Million Blocks, because that many men are coming from those blocks and going upstate New York and are being incarcerated. And it generates that much money for the communities upstate. Back to the business end of it. If it wasn't for the prisons upstate New York, it would be in the schools. Because if you think about it, there's only colleges and prisons upstate New York. There's no industry. How do those people eat? They eat off of the labor of these guys being incarcerated. That's how they generate money. That's how they generate money.
Wow.
So people don't realize that Rockefeller, one of the governors, he's generated a system where he put the prisoners upstate New York and he put the colleges upstate New York. And by doing this, he made it where it's a financial benefit for those people that live up there. Because they are the COs, they are the wardens, they are the electrical guys, they're the nurses, they're the doctors, they're all these things, you know, and housing these people. And then you have the communities up there where they get the free labor, like we discussed. If somebody's locked up and they're getting 20 cents a day to go work for Sterling Optical, you got 20 cents more than the other guy. When I was in prison visiting these guys, I assumed they only did license plates. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
I learned in our community, watching, just paying attention to everything. Back in the 50s, 40s, 60s, whatever the case was, the people that went to prison in our communities were those that was fighting for us to be free. Once we started getting more freedom, somehow it switched to, it became honorable to go to jail for nonsense. And then we encouraged it. Like I used to see, like if you go on most quote unquote hoods and dudes and whatever that think they street or whatever the case is, they got pictures of Scarface. Why you got him on your wall? He was a drug addict that died, that killed his best friend, but we idolized that. And no one even got that from the movie. Like, you watching the same movie I'm watching, I'm like, this is a mess. But we like, yo, that's what I want to be. Like, why? Why would you want to be that? So all of a sudden it switched to, we started becoming all of these things. All the rappers started taking all these names and these everything negative. It became what you had to become in our community. All the songs were who's going to kill each other the most. I was on set one time and I was talking with this British gentleman, straight from Britain. And I'm playing some hip hop song and I got my chest out because I love it. And he goes, why is he so violent? I looked at him. I was like, I don't know. It's strange when you think about it. You always think, well, I'm going to kill this nigga, I'm going to kill this nigga, I'm going to do this to this one and do this to this one. And you almost couldn't get a record deal in the 90s if you wasn't talking that. So you had to almost become these type of people that, you promoted. A lot of these rappers promote things, they don't live in those neighborhoods. And these kids are running around trying to be that. And it's like, that became our culture now. Like, why is that? Like, you can't even almost get a TV show now if the storyline is in an ex-drug dealer that killed somebody that went straight. Like, all the TV shows that are out right now have something to do with that when it comes to episodics. Then if you want to talk about reality shows, if any some women arguing with each other with a bunch of false stuff on their bodies, you can't get picked up for a reality show. Am I wrong?
Nah, you speaking facts, God. It's just real sad, man.
That's what we are now.
It's this shit is, pardon my language, but it's so real, and it's just like the round table, even though we live and it's real universal, it's so real to where somebody riding with us listening like, yo, man, they talking about my cousin and I supposed to send them $20, or so-and-so just called me and I supposed to send them some money, or, you waiting for somebody to drop that kite to you on some fan mail. That's what it's really called when you in there. It's like fan mail, and that's kind of like when you get your stripes, the CO always coming by, dropping mail under your shoe. So they like, okay, so this nigga must be somebody. You know what I mean? He catching mail 5 days a week. So somebody pushing something somewhere. So, and it ain't a little bit of stuff. So again, the way I was maneuvering and swimming in it now, it was very easy for the cow or the mule to do what needed to be done. Because, they respect a cat's stripes, but the thing is, now that we know what it is, and it's sad because it's so propagandized now. They playing chess right before our eyes, and they selling it to the neophytes, which is the babies. So even though we have this platform, just like I was telling my younger earlier, I was like, it's crazy how you have watched your uncle, your father, your cousin, your girl's cousin, all get locked up. Here you are, 15, about to be 16, saying you need a Justice Cipher Bonwich's job. Now I'm looking at you like, you ain't even old enough to work, age-wise, but your mind is already elevated because the responsibility all those people and individuals have dropped on this fragile little mind. You got to hold down the fort. So I asked him, it ain't my business, you don't got to tell me, but what they was doing. Because I can already kind of guess, you know what I mean? And then he told me, they's playing in the streets backwards. So now, I catch him playing in the street backwards, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I say to him, well, you easy to rob. He told me, why you say that? I said, let me tell you everything I seen you just did. You went over here. You went over there and grabbed a green tater chip bag. You easy to rob. He said, damn. It ain't meant for you. So I took his little squares and went and convinced the little Jew that I know, hey man, you know what I mean, he got a family situation. He ain't of age, but mentally he of age. And I don't want to send him out there what I seen him doing because he may be one of their bunkies.
Now, something you just said, True, I want to touch on, which people don't want to really emphasize. Like growing up, the cop-out in my neighborhood, college ain't for everybody. I ain't, school ain't for me. The streets ain't for everybody, brother. It ain't for you. So, stretch yourself. Do something different. Anyone could be a bum. Try something different. Everybody could wake up 3 o'clock in the afternoon and go stand out in the corner. Do something different. Stretch yourself. You want to be working out, lifting weights, stretch yourself mentally. But everybody's like, school ain't for me. This ain't for me. But then all of a sudden you get in your 40s, 30s, you sit there like, yeah, I need to start learning. You should have did that back then. There's a time and place for things. And you see it ain't working. There's evidence after evidence. We can sit here all day and talk about situations where it ain't work. You got a few hood legends. For most people, it ain't work. For most people, it did not work.
Well, even with the hood legends, they end up with a story that end up saying, hey, man, I got this limp fucking with the streets.
Yeah.
I got one kidney fucking with the streets.
Yeah. I lost my aunt. I lost this because sometimes people realize that karma is real. You're putting that poison out in the neighborhood. You don't think it's going to come back and somebody in your family's going to grab a hold of it? You don't think so? You sold everybody on the block. You don't think somebody in your family's going to start smoking it? It's going to come back. And then when it comes back, don't be surprised.
Well, that's what I think is happening. And it's been happening. That karma has decided just to pay everybody back its visit.
Everybody's mafia. Y'all ain't know nothing about no mafia. Mafia didn't do dirt in their communities. Y'all don't get it.
See,
mafia wouldn't do nothing in the neighborhoods. We do it in our own neighborhoods. Then we want to go and give out a turkey. Well, we didn't have to give that family a turkey if he didn't do that. Because they could go buy their own damn turkey if they wasn't strung out.
Well,
he took care of the hood. He gave out coats in the winter. If his mom wasn't strung out, she could have bought her own damn coat.
Yeah, when you look at the real backdrop of it, it was placed in the universe. Somebody figured out a way how to make that white stuff turn into crack. And when they drop crack in the neighborhood, in the inner hood, in the inner city, I mean, you just got to think, man, that drug had people literally stealing just to go get high. You would wake up out of your morning and go into a store you still another. Just think how many people. Well, me, when I was double dutching in the free cipher, how many loyal cats I had would bring me meat. Shit was crazy, God. You really
didn't have heroin before that. It was heroin before that.
Yeah, you really didn't have to go nowhere if you had a little situation, man, and just to realize that you aided in a lot of destruction, King. And then I helped. We
destroyed our own neighborhoods. Then we talk about gentrification. Like, why are we destroying? We destroy, and we got to figure that out within us. What are we doing? It can't be I'm doing good. This is the way I look at it. If I'm doing good, everyone else around me is not doing good, then I'm not doing good. How can you be the kingpin in your neighborhood when everybody else is strung out? It's like the pastor in the church with the Cadillac and the helicopter, but everybody's company on the bus. Is that church really doing good?
I call them Rev ain't right.
Well, they the same as the drug dealers.
Rev ain't right. Because every drug dealer go to jail.
Come out and be a pastor.
Come on, be a pastor. And
My uncle was murdered. He was a cop murdered by a dude. He came out and became a pastor. Shot him over in a convenience store. Killed him right there in Brooklyn. When he came out, became a pastor.
And then it's unique, man. It's so, again, it's so layered and unique, and then it's kind of like, that's another hustle, man. As sad as for me to say live on this, but that's another hustle, because when you go look at that, and they even had prison ministries, and at the end of the day, it was like everything seemed to came with money back. Cats, I know cats, because I had to do it. I was working for 75 cents a day.
He was making a lot. That's a lot. Dudes I knew was in there was making that much, but go ahead, brother. That was a lot.
Nah, that's what they did. Up this way, that's what they
Yeah,
did.
it's paying y'all well. Man. If he was making less than that, 30 cents a day, I was like, damn.
Nah, they give you 75 cents a day, and if you work in the kitchen, you got $1.25. And then I figured out the maze, because I went to school for cutting hair, so I know how to cut hair. So I figured out, you know what, man? Hey, nigga ain't here need a haircut. White, Spanish, whoever. So that's a hustle within a hustle. Then I figured out I don't drink coffee. So,
coffee.
So I can have the coffee balls better than all the coffee shops in the street.
Yeah.
So, you know, they got all the stuff in there now. I got coffee balls about the size of crack vibe. I mean, I don't drink coffee, so I'm pushing the coffee balls.
Yeah. Coffee, ramen, all of that.
So, but it's just unique. I got a CO cat that I know that he was always cool. You know, when we was in the shoot, he done retired, and I ran into him at the gas station, and he was like, "Hey, it's crazy. I happened to been messing with my son, and he was playing Keith Murray's song, and I told him, you wouldn't believe Keith Murray was, confined one time, and he was working. He was like, nah. And then he pulled out a picture and showed him that me and Murray took a picture with the Joker because he was cool.
Yeah, got you.
And he was like, word. And I was like, he's like, it's good to see you. I said, hold on. So I called the guy. Yo, God, remember, I used to call him No Neck. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, we had a good laugh. And he was glad to see that the God was up spirit and upbeat. And then, like he said, man, just to see you come and be in the position that you are, when some people see you, they can be like, whatever you was doing, man, this shit here ain't for you. Because, you can tell when the cat be like, okay, you'll be back. I know we'll see your ass again.
Yeah. See, you don't even need to leave. You wasting time leaving to come back.
Don't even fold the sheets. He'll be back.
Yeah.
So when the Joker said to me, we used to always be saying, this nigga here too slick. I ain't that. I just was raised by a very humble grandmother. And it was me who deviated from the plan. Me.
Yeah.
So anything I had to withstand, I had to withstand it by standing on my truth for square. It wasn't that, hey, you got to go out there to do this. Nah, I used to go to school, fly, $20 every day in my pocket. My grandmother taught me how to save money.
Got you.
Every day, because she worked at General Electric. She retired 3 times from there. And she just had a birthday, July the 7th, returned 94 years old, God. Still alive. That's who raised me. That's who taught me. That's who gave me my inner lining. Every day she would go to work, she would leave me $20. And then I realized I ain't buying up from school. I'm scheming. I'm letting the money pile up, and I done figured a little maze out. You know, I can. You know, I'm tapping in the world early. Right? I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I was a tapper early. So if I saw a move, I made it. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm going home to somebody work every day. If I get caught, I got good representation. And it was always her who caught me first in whatever I was doing. And then she would just, I'm going to ask you one time, and then you'll figure out what you're going to say before you answer. And that's the one I never said, you know what I mean? I will pull no bullshit on. Word.
Let me ask you this, True, because I think what you just said is the problem, and we need to figure out what that is. Why is it that so many of us at a certain age think we have it all figured out? And the plan, I've had this conversation with my son. I'm like, the blueprint has been laid out for you. You're thinking that you know a better blueprint is when you're going to fail. Like, you have no idea about anything. You don't know enough to know what you don't know. Why is it that we are just several phases in life? Is the learning phase, is the application of what you learn, then is the giving back of what you know. I meet dudes by the age of 12, they're giving back what they know. They think they want to go around with philosophy. I'm like, you haven't lived long enough to have a philosophy on anything. You haven't lived long enough to have a knowledge of nothing. You haven't learned. You haven't even applied what you learned. Why do we jump in the black community so quick to think we got it all figured out?
Well,
that's the $1 million question. Like, we be young and everyone's like, yo, someone was trying to tell me, somebody tried to put me on the game. Everyone has a story with that. So I wouldn't listen. What is that?
Well, again, it's that as bad as it is, but it's the realest shit that I ever heard. It's that monkey see, monkey do syndrome.
Okay, got you. I'm Caribbean. We call it follow fashion monkey. Exactly. Same thing.
As crazy as it is, it's the monkey see, monkey do syndrome. And until we learn how to break that curse, which it seems there is no outlet, stuff gonna keep happening. Because if you could take 12 good kids, literally, go to school, ride dirt bikes, have fun, that don't know, polite. One of them jokers gonna convince somebody to do something just off shot, just to do it. It's just, for whatever reason, it's that little wire in everybody that, hey man, everything going good, let's just try that. And the moment y'all get away with it, that's the first pattern. We can go over here and try that. Got away with it again. We can go over here and try that. Now here it is, y'all done knocked off 3 joints successfully. In your mind, you can't be caught. You can't be hit. And until they put them steel braces on you. And but again, man, it's so layered how, you know what I mean? It ain't about, a person can only speak on what they've been through. What you've been through, you know. Don't nobody got to tell you about that. You know
what's something though, True? I disagree with that. You know why? I think that's what you just said, though. You just touched on something. I think that's the problem. We always want to go through it ourselves to learn it. I think that's the foolish portion of our processing of thought. If you stick your hand in the fire, you tell me it's hot. I'm not going to stick my hand in the fire. I don't need to burn my hand in the fire after I see you burn it. But for us, it ain't going to burn the same. It's going to be different for me. My hand, I'm built different. You hear all these foolish things, but applied in different ways. I think we have to start understanding we can learn from other people's mistakes. Why do we have to go through the mistake? Because it's a perpetual cycle of, oh, I got to learn the hard way. Okay, cool. He's going to learn the hard way. So when are we going to stop learning the hard way? Ain't there enough people that did it the hard way? We don't have enough murals in the hood? I ain't got to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
You know how many dudes, you know what I'm saying? We talk about I work in the prisons. You know how many guys that I work with in the prison that did years? We ain't talking about, I know in jail, dudes don't really recognize things under 18 months, 3 years. I'm talking about 10-year bids, 15-year bids. I know dudes who did time. Came home and got shot. Came home and got killed. I'm like, why would you go back to that? Didn't you learn the hard way?
As fortunate and as sad as it is, God, there's always somebody just gonna want to try to do what you did. For to get whatever stripes. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
that's how some cats, whether we realize it or not, that's how some cats became real tight with they like best friends or whatever, or broke away from whoever you considered your childhood best friend. Even though I know that you was crazy as hell, I would be there with you. But some of this, you know me, you go first. I ain't got to. Now, come on, we out of here. But just to be there, being like you, because think about it, everybody that you knew that courted crime had, majority of them had what? Co-defendants.
Absolutely.
I ain't got a co-defendant. It was me, told my crew, yo, go ahead, man. I got to handle something. The shit here done got thick. And, you know, I don't do what I got to do. But when you go to think at it and you look at, okay, half of the cats you don't talk to inside the walls and all that, hey, man, this went bad and Pops wasn't there. And like I said, it's so layered, man. But that's why I say it's different layers that you could talk to. And everybody can agree to disagree. But as sad as it is, you talk to 100 young boys and you ask them what you looked up to or what what little movie, They ain't telling you nothing of educational, this, that, and the third.
Nah, Scarface. Scarface is number one on the list. Some hood movie.
So it's
Alpo. There want to be something.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay, you know, the mind is, you know, everybody on demon time. You know what I mean? So and so got shot. We smoking on so and so pack.
Yes. What is that about? That's a whole conversation. About what is that about? What is that about?
That's
like,
again. That's this demonic mind state that the babies are in. And these babies are dropping off babies inside of babies to be raised. It's like, yo, B.
Yeah, like that's different. Our generation failed these kids, man, because you can't talk about the kids without the generation. Our generation failed these kids. Because I heard somebody was saying, all the kids now, because you think about a lot of the rappers now, they're overdosing. And a lot of them getting shot. And one of the rappers was like, look at you guys. Y'all, all you did was talk about coke and crack. And you like, you can't say, I love Biggie, but he has the 10 crack commandments.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? I love what I love. I love M.O.P. Posse. You know what I mean? I love what I love. But you can't say nothing when you really put that spotlight on the generation that made this generation. These kids are overdosing. You got the kid Juice WRLD and all these other dudes taking too many pills and doing weird stuff. But where did they learn it from? Whitney Houston overdosed. Where did her daughter learn it from?
I said it to you best, King. Monkey see, monkey do.
So your dad is sitting here cooking crack and doing stuff. So the new drug come out. These kids are doing it. We sitting here. We promoted it all in the 90s.
Yeah, that's why I say, man, what we got to do, man, we got to continue and, just like when we sat down in the middle of Times Square, you know what I mean? It was good to meet you and bring you there. You told me, true, I ain't been here in a long time. This shit
here. Yeah, because people in New York don't do it in Times Square. That's you know what I mean? I don't do that. We avoid that. Too many people.
Yeah.
Too many people pickpockets. Back in the days going out, you get pockets picked. You went there with your crew at night, chill and take pictures. And, you know, stare at the women with the Adam's apples. That's what it was when I was growing up. And then as it changed, like, you don't do that. You avoid that.
Yeah.
Well, peep show. But, you know what I'm saying? You know what I would love to see? You know, the crate challenge and all these weird challenges. I would love to see the rappers come up with a challenge.
Fuck. Yeah.
You hear me?
Pardon me, God.
True.
Pardon
Yeah,
me.
what's
Go ahead, King. Pardon me.
Yeah. Could you hear me? I don't know if I'm still linked in.
No, yeah, you good.
Yeah, I would love to see us come up with a challenge where we don't talk about nothing negative for a year and see if that changes anything in our society. I would love to see that. Remember, every day you had a song where you couldn't curse when you was growing up. Like, just nothing negative in your rap song. Nothing negative for a year. Let's just do that for a year. We'll do challenges. Let's do a challenge like that instead of walking up a bunch of milk crates and splitting your head open.
Okay, so what you do is this. You shut it off. You write it out. And what we'll do, we'll formulate a situation within the radio.
Yeah, put it out there to these rappers. Like, you don't talk about selling no drugs, talk about shooting nobody, talk about beating up nobody. What can you talk about? Can you make a rap? Can you talk about something else?
Well, unfortunately, the rap game is so saturated with just everybody got to be on pills, I'm pilled out, or I'm smoking on hooky wookie, dookie hookie. It's done got to the point to where now I got to put on a dress. I got to act like I'm too sweet to be in the street. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't kind of conform to them 3-car Molly, you ain't gonna. It ain't like it was before. Back before, you know what I mean. It was conscious. It was, you know what I mean. You had the hardcore, but you know you had conscious rap. You had cats saying, you know,
you had a variety.
Yeah, you had cats. You had cats acknowledging you, peace God. You know what I mean, peace King. What's today's? What's today's mathematics? And now is nigga this.
Poor righteous preacher.
Gang.
Brother Jay from that group in Brooklyn. What the hell was that group in Brooklyn? Brother Jay. Damn, he was nice. Brother Jay was nice. X-Clan. Yeah, you're right. You know something though? I'm gonna say something that's gonna be controversial. People probably ain't gonna agree with this. I respect the Little Nas X more than I respect a lot of these other cats. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. He came out and said who he is. A lot of these dudes running around talking about they tough. They doing exactly what Little Nas X is doing, but they do it on the low. Just be who you are. Don't come out here and try to front. A lot of these dudes go back and forth to jail because I started hearing from other dudes because they got situations in the jail.
Well, I won't say that's too controversial because
I'm just saying they got a little homeboy they got up in the jail that they mess around with you behind the wall, but they got to go back in there to do it. They don't want to do it out here.
You got a lot of cats. You got a lot of cats that so-called themselves certified and things of that nature is too sweet for the street. But again, that's to break the curse and you coming home knowing, okay, now I'm going to be with somebody's daughter or da-da-da-da. And you know when you close your eyes, I've been with Jane or Hayne or Steve or whatever. So it's kind of like, but again, it's, again, that shit's so layered. But what Little Nas X did, God, was he put it right in front of everybody's face early. It was up to you to identify with it, and then when he realized these niggas asleep, and then he rocked everybody to sleep, but ain't nobody find out to him until he went on the wards with what? The other side.
Yeah. He played them.
He went on.
Certified. They doing that, yo. Look at Bambaataa. Look at Bambaataa, yo. You got all these dudes. That's not even gay. That's pedophilia, which is even worse. I'm not gonna say being gay is bad. I mean, you choose that. I'm not saying it's pedophilia. I have a line I draw. That's the problem. You got Bambaataa talk about street certified, the Zulu Nation, this, that, and the third. You touching boys? Think about that, yo.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. A lot of dudes that got violated were violated by dudes in the hood. They weren't violated by no man running around in no dress.
That's what I'm trying to say to you, that as sad as it is, the predators that's amongst us is just like when you watch Wildlife. It's people that you gave money to. It's people that you went and stood in line to watch. It's people that you mocked. It's people that you dance to. When you get to know who these individuals are, have did some horrible things to hurt people. And if you went through that as a child or youth, you grew up with that.
Yeah, that's yours. You take your whole life to get over your childhood. You know that.
And as sad as it be, some of them people turn just into what happened to them.
Facts. You became the monster you ran from.
And that's kind of like breaking down and getting to the gist of what's real. And like I say, mass incarceration is one thing, but it's kind of like if it ain't no rehabilitation in there, you come out just as wild, as crazy as hell as you went in.
But a lot of those guys, but to your argument earlier, it's like a strike. They don't want to be rehabilitated. They want to get back out and brag to everybody where they just was at because it verifies them.
Yeah, that's just like like I know. If you was upstate, your verification was somebody put $1.50 in your face. And as weird as it is, everybody that you see from New York, like, damn, he was in jail. Somebody got him. Don't mean you.
When I was growing up, $1.50 in your face meant you was a snitch. Things changed. Because the whole point was they cut you from your ear to your mouth. That's the phone. So that's when you got cut in your face like that. That's why you did that back in the day. Now it's just they was just doing it to face people's faces. But the snitch, that's when you mark somebody in their face. That's what the $1.50 was. Took 150 stitches to close it. People don't even know. You know what it is. A lot of cats ain't know what that means. 150 stitches to close that bitch back up. You cut somebody from their ear to their mouth. What is that? Telephone goes from your ear to your mouth. You cut that dude in the face, let everybody know he's a snitch. That's what that cut is.
That's the real history of it. But they ain't giving it up like that nowadays. They up talking about
it's like snitches. Being a snitch has changed. Like grandmother sees her grandson get shot and she tells the police she's a snitch. Y'all don't even know what the hell snitch means. Snitch means if I hit you, rob a bank and you rob a bank with me and I go and tell the cops that because I got caught, that's snitching. The civilians and street people. It's two separate things.
Yeah.
Giving them messed up certain words. That's why our communities all messed up. Remember, what is it? Cameron said some nonsense about rapists live next door. I want to tell them, what are you talking about? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
So you say you won't snitch on that because you're a rapist too? You condone that. You're protecting it. You condone it. Don't say it because it sounds cool. You trying to get street cred, like giving up your neighborhood to bad circumstances. Our neighborhood is destroyed because we have bad principles. That's not what snitching is. Snitching is if we do a crime together, and I tell on you. Snitching is if I'm on this block doing some devious shit, you on that block doing some devious shit, and I call the cops to shut you down. That's snitching. But you a civilian? You a regular cat? That's you trying to protect your neighborhood? Somebody's over here doing something wrong? That's not what snitching. Y'all got it all wrong.
Well, see, like I said, that's the thing, man. They done changed the whole code. All the codes have been
rewriting shit. Right? You're right. You're writing shit. $1.50 ain't cool to get cut like that.
And that's why I say, man, this script that they reading off, I don't know who.
I don't know who wrote their script.
Who's the director behind this script? But boy, just
who wrote their lines, Joe?
It's real off base. And again, they done changed the code of ethics with everything. They on Clubhouse like the police ain't on Clubhouse.
They are. They on Clubhouse. They on Instagram. They on Facebook. They know all the moves that you're making. They know they got dummy things on there, and they got all them informants on there as well.
So it's kind of like...
This is the thing. A lot of... Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Add on, King. Add on.
Nah, a lot of these dudes is doing this to impress these girls. That's what I've noticed. They ain't impressing no ladies. They ain't impressing girls. But they don't realize once you get locked up, these same girls that was running looking for you, once you get too many charges, now they realize they need stability. Now they want to go look for the college dude. They don't want your ass no more. Because think about it, the bullshit you doing. Would you really want a woman that wants that? Would you really want that? It's like you sit there on the street, you see like a guy sitting there hollering at a girl. He got a lick in his hand. He's sitting on a milk crate, missing teeth, and he's hollering at her. If she turn around and say, yes, you can have my number, he should run. Don't try to impress things you don't need to be with. Anybody can get a girl, can you get a lady, though? Would you want your daughter to be a person like you?
Well, see, that's the hard thing, man. When that now you cutting a different side of the cake. When you
But that's the prison talk. That's the prison talk. We always talk about prison. Would you want your daughter to be with a dude that's been locked up and don't know how to do nothing? Remember, he ain't employable? We don't get a job at, bro. Packing groceries? You got to bring your own bags now in some of these stores. Right?
Well, that's why I say it get real when you start talking about that mass incarceration, because cats sit around in there with each other and really build and really open up about things that, you know what I mean, you may not have said over here, but you like, okay, all right, you know what I mean? But again, when you start talking about what you left out there on the land for the hyenas to eat and feast off, again, it all comes down to accountability and responsibility. And then when you make up in your mind at some point, you know, I ain't going back through this. That shit's humiliating. Some joker telling you to get up, strip, take your clothes down. You not knowing in your mind he could be straight C-Cipher power. You don't know. He just got a badge. But his life outside of here, straight seahorse. Now anytime he want to come in there and tell you to strip, you got to strip. He got a free peep show.
But true, you think a lot of dudes is using prison as a way to get through life because they realize it's easier to be in there? Because when you come out here, it's hard for a man to wake up and go to a job. It's hard for a man to wake up and take his kid to the bus stop and help him with homework. But you could excuse, I was locked up. You could put that, the man got. So they do dumb shit. I remember when I was growing up, there was something called 3 hots in a pot. Cats don't know what that is now. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Every time around winter time, they would get locked up on purpose. Why? Because they knew they was going to get 3 hot meals and somewhere to sleep. They always do the dummy ass crime. They get locked up around Thanksgiving, get that good meal. They come out around spring. They'll find they know what to do. Steal a car radio. Do a few months. Come out around when the shit start to thaw out. Yeah, so dudes use that shit as an excuse.
Yeah, that's why I said it's so layered, man. That's why I said it's so layered to where it's kind of like it's brackets of it. It's kind of like just like you said with that example. You got cats that when it's about to get cold outside. Let me go ahead and do me a jack move. Word. And disappear. Disappear. Like, what's so and so at? I ain't seen him. Out of nowhere, he pop up looking healthy. But where you was at? Yeah. I took right. I took a look.
That's the other thing. You don't age in it. They look healthy because they ain't got to worry about the stress of waking up. You go to bed, your meals are made for you. You ain't got to worry about bills. They look like they in a time capsule.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. You pick up this double life. Because in there, you go in there and get clean. You turn into some type of religion.
Yeah.
You kind of find yourself for a good minute. Your mind working on the right space. But one of the things about it, again, I ain't got to help nobody with no bills.
I can help nobody with no bills, true. They ain't got to do it. I was with my man Allah, right? We was sitting there talking. We met with this chick that was locked up that he knew. She did about 6 years. Allah did like 7, 8 years. Long story short, she's talking, we connected. We just sitting there all talking. And she looked at him and was like, yo, I want to go back in. I was like, what? She said, I want to go back in. And then we all had a conversation about it. It's just easier for some people. It's easier for some people. All prisons ain't nightmares. There's mediums, there's minimums, there's maxes. I went to one prison to perform. they had the gates to the jail open. I'm like, yo, what? Why is the gates open? They're like, we ain't going nowhere. They already did their 15. They had the last, and they had 3 years left. They're like, why would I run around here now? No one's trying to fight, really. No one's trying to get into nothing. People stay to their side. This was for the Muslims. The blacks stay to the blacks. The whites stay to the whites. And New York State, New York ain't too many whites anyhow. Because everybody is black. That's a whole other conversation. But they're like, yeah, it's cool. People figure out the system. This one works in the kitchen. This one works in the wood shop. This one works in the field over here. This one works for this company, for American Airlines. This one works for this. This one makes desks for schools. Like they got little, make their little change for the day. They're good. When they start looking to come home, they get nervous.
Yeah, that
I had a lot of conversations. Go ahead, bro.
That freaked me out too, man. I would be like, damn, this nigga get right close to the gate and he gonna start a fight. What the hell is wrong with this nigga?
Yeah, you seen it.
And that shit rocked me to sleep. Like, these niggas running back into this shit.
Yeah, so, he punching the CO in the face that he's cool with. You know he's cool. He likes that CO. You know it for a fact. Him and CO chill. And now he punched the CO in the face the day before he leaves? Because the CO said, good morning, brother. Who you calling a brother? Like, wait, what's really going on? You don't want to go out in that real world.
Yeah, that real world is real. It's real out here, man. That's why I say this mass incarceration is so real and layered. But that's what I'm gonna have. Last week I had Jamil Howard. This week I had Edric Brown. It's gonna continue to grow. But what I like about it most is us being able to build about what's real. You know what I mean? And this was missing. This was missing really on air because everything seemed to just be about a bunch of bullshit. Let's keep it a stack.
Smoke and mirrors.
I seen everybody walking around here doing the crate challenge. And in my mind, I'm going, damn, these niggas that bored?
Why are people with money condoning it? That's the question. We don't condone kids going to school and getting straight A's. I need a 4.0 challenge.
Well,
you don't got that.
Well, it's kind of like...
I'll give you $10,000 for that.
Again, it's this monkey see, monkey do. Only thing about it, some monkeys got more money than you do.
Yeah, I'm going to pay you to go walk up a crate. Like, come on. We don't pay for good stuff and on it. Come here, you got money. That's what you're going to dangle for your poor brothers and sisters to do?
Well, as you realize, the internet has took over. So again, again, monkey see, monkey do. And then when a monkey leave here, that's when they get, okay, now they're going to have to put some kind of restraints to it because, like again, people getting hurt, no insurance, COVID out there. So it's kind of like make an ass of yourself to get a bunch of followers, a bunch of views.
Facts. But who are the followers that's following? All followers ain't good followers. Like all money ain't good money, and all friends ain't real friends. But you is not true. You old school, incriminating thyself. All milk crates got it written right on it is illegal. It says it right on the milk crate. It's illegal to possess that thing.
Yeah, because
we got it all on tape.
Yeah, because
it says it right on the milk crate.
Yeah, because if you hit somebody with one of them, woof.
No, it's not that because this belongs to the milk company. That's how they transport the milk. These people are not thinking. It says it right on it. It's etched in it. So you on video with that milk crate. The cop decides to come over. They go on Facebook or Instagram, which they are, and they are watching, and say, you know what? I'm going to lock this dude up on a charge. It says it right there. You ain't supposed to be having possession of milk crates.
But again...
So we have milk... Hey, we ain't thinking about that.
Yeah.
You put yourself on video with something illegal. It says it right on it. Pursuant to code, whatever, da-da-da-da-da. Read it. I ain't making it up.
I know you sharp. I know you sharp as a razor, God. That's why you over here with me. You know me. Everybody Google everything.
I'm telling anybody listening, because like I said, truth can be challenged. That's why people don't want to get into. They don't want to challenge religion because people don't want. Truth could be challenged. It says it right on it.
That's why I say, man, monkey see, monkey do. And it's like people walking horses with blinders on. And I said it to myself, what? I mean, to me, it was kind of like, I watch a lot of wildlife, Animal Channel, Planet. And I was saying, you know, when I go to look to train your dog, that's a little course they got like when you train your dog. You know, you walk up little mazes, but I'm going, who was that damn bored to go get some milk crates and say, just walk across them? And without realizing, you know, the milk crates, if you nervous by nature, you're going to fall. You're nervous by nature,
going up in price, we got to thank ourselves for it. Because they're going to be like, you stole all these milk crates. Now we got to produce new milk crates to get the milk to the damn stores. Where you getting all these milk crates from? Like, you see, they're like, oh my God, like, it's causing, you don't understand, it's going to hit us on the back end. Because those same hoods that's doing it, they're like, yo, the price of milk is crazy. Watch. Price of milk is crazy. They're like, yeah, we have to pay to make new milk crates, and we're going to give you guys the cost because y'all was doing milk crate challenge. And when the cops need to get a nice charge on somebody, they're going to look up the video.
I know one thing.
Everybody so know this, everybody know that. All right, go ahead. Read the milk crate you got in your hand. And you on video with it?
I know one thing.
4 dozens of them?
We're in a sad situation, brother. But over here at, you know what I mean, at the BBFLY radio show, salute to Chad Harper, my partner. He's in Spain, living his best life. And the show must go on. And I got a whole bunch of cats that can talk about mass incarceration. Like I said, you can reach out to some of them people and we can rehash that whole document. We can rehash that whole documentary and bring it into a 2021 version and start moving around and getting some of this mailbox money, going to talk to the schools and the prisons and shit like that with the organizations that's already out here. Because at the end of the day, it is retaining and dealing with mental health. Ain't no way around it. It's dealing with mental health and domestic violence. Because a lot of cats become domestic terrorists within their own neighborhoods. Literally.
That's fact, true. I never heard nobody say that, but that's true. It's terrorism in a different form. Yeah, there ain't a white boy with a machine gun, but you sitting there with crack throwing it out. It's the same difference. People going to die. You're right. That's domestic terrorism.
Yeah, they load up. I mean, it's as sad as it is. I mean, when you look at the different cities, how many murders has it been since January to now in Chicago? And we talking about, these are black folk. You look at Atlanta, the new LA, the new Hollywood. These are black folks. So when you start like, I mean, do they not think these people gonna put them steel bracelets on them? Or do they not think that they gonna open the ground for them? Either way, something gonna open for you, a door or the ground. That's what I told my man. You might not like the choices, but you're gonna have to say to yourself, you made the bed, King. Only thing about it, you can't change your sheets when you want to. You got a certain day you got to change your sheets. And you know if you sweat at night in your sleep, what's catching it besides your sheets? So like I say, King, it's so layered, man, and when you look at society and the world, it's kind of like, whoa, man, shit, yeesh. I watched that thing today. I'm kind of conflicted because at first I thought it said that she died. I saw something else. It could have been somebody else. Say, lady almost died doing the crate challenge.
Now, they shot one place up and killed a girl. Yeah, during the crate challenge, they shot up. I mean, look, somebody sent me the article.
Wow.
They let off. Yeah, somebody's already died. me see if I can find the article while you're talking. Supposedly during the crate challenge, somebody, it says teen girl and 2 others shot dead while filming a crate challenge video. I don't know how accurate it is, but supposedly, it doesn't sound far-fetched. You see them on the crates, the next thing you know, you hear the shots being let off. I'm going to send it to you right now.
Wow.
I don't know if I wasn't there, so I can't say 100% it happened, but it's plausible. We know how it is. A group of us doing stuff and a bunch of money involved. Things always go left.
Yeah, that went real left. I was watching one and saw this crackhead lady. I was like, whoa, and then she broke her arm. And the first thing I said, look at this, no insurance.
She broke her arm?
Yeah,
Wow.
she broke her arm. No insurance. These jokers falling. And if you do got a job, what you gonna say to the person? You did this to yourself, and then y'all recording it. So it's kind of like, now you telling me some girls was recording it, and then somebody let off shots, and
I sent it to you.
I got it. And then they went to sleep, man. So it's kind of like, but again,
I'm looking it up right now. It's saying no, a Dallas woman didn't die in the milk crate challenge. So something happened in Dallas. 3 people shot dead. It says 3 dead. Newsweek supposedly confirms it. So I think that they're reputable. You know what I mean? I got to see who's saying it. I'm just saying this is from Newsweek. That's what they say.
They cut loose out there, huh?
Yeah.
I said, they get wild out there in Dallas, man. But yeah, God, that's what I want to do, man. I want to bring that traffic, man. That, you know what I mean. Let's rehash that documentary life and bring it back to 2021, and we could just move on it in a different aspect because we got the radio outlet, and then we can take
Absolutely.
and put it through this little TV outlet because, like I said, we're gonna push the push. You know what I mean? While it's still good. So, you know what I mean, the things that we can all bring to the surface, let's bring it there because you already did the groundwork. You just reopening the can, just in 2021 version. And then we'll package it different, and then we'll send it to the detention centers. Because if you realize that they done took off the scare straight, because they wasn't scaring none of them kids. That shit was a joke.
That's the reason why I did it. This was a deterrent. So the reason why I chose to do and I'll explain for those that don't know what we're talking about. When I would go into the jails and I would mentor, and I had a theater program, after a while we had so many significant conversations. I said, well, why not I film some of these conversations? And then I'll film their release and trying to adjust back into society and showing how awkward it is for somebody that's been removed from society for 15 years now that has to come back and pump gas. Showing the man, once he gets in the car, he has motion sickness. He hasn't been in nothing that does over 20 miles an hour. He's driving down the street, he has to pull over the throttle. Guys that when they come home in the living room, they got everything they own within 3 feet because they used to be in the cell. They got the cup, the bowl, the toothbrush, and their wife was like, hey, you can put stuff in the bathroom. We have a kitchen. But it used to be in the cell. So let's see these grown men that now have been conditioned and let's see them try to readjust. So I filmed them coming home and being re-released in society and, again, trying to figure things out or not figure things out. And it was eye-opening. So for me, I wanted to show these young cats that think, yeah, I'm going to be locked up and whatever. Okay, these guys who actually did it, they did it. Look how they're acting now. Look how it's affected their family. No, everyone doesn't go to a funeral when they lose a loved one. So you in jail, you losing loved ones. You got to say goodbye in your mind. You ain't going to the funeral sometimes. They deny it. You can't, like you said, get up and walk freely, go to the bathroom when you want to outside of your cell. You in a cell, you got a cellie, he got diarrhea, you smelling it. Like, think about this. In some prisons, they got no AC. If it's hot, they put their milk in the toilet. People ain't talking about that. dudes go to jail. Yeah, I was running that shit. Let's talk about what else was you doing in the jail. You smoking weed. That weed came out of somebody's ass, usually. It was in a balloon in somebody's asshole. Let's talk about it. This is what you want?
That's what they become immune to. That's why I say it's easy.
That's what you want?
For brothers to
I
lie
want
to
to show
you.
these kids. This what these kids, these guys did it. This dude did 20 years. This dude 15. That's what you want to do?
Definitely get
Well,
real.
That gets real.
But that's what I want to do, though, God. So, you know what I mean? I know you already got the paperwork and all of it, the whole layout. When you get back up to
We'll chop it up how you want me to proceed with it. We'll do it.
No, you lay it out, and then, like I say, man, I always got the outlet, so you lay it out, and we can rock it like that. And then we can start making it to a 2021 version of whatever it is, you know what I mean? Get some new footage and get this, you know what I mean? Get some cats, young cats to sit down and let's talk to them. You know what I mean? Get some finger food and some cats that ain't scared to talk, and, you know what I mean? And then, especially somebody that got somebody that's incarcerated, how you dealing with that when, you know what I mean? Like, again, it's so layered.
Yeah.
But
They're killing their moms. They're killing their sisters. Like, their younger brothers. They're killing their kids going to see their... It's killing your family, man. Everybody's locked up with you. You're killing them.
But that's the thing. That's the mental health part of it. See, that's the mental health part
selfish.
of it.
It's so selfish. It's really selfish, a lot of those cats. And they don't recognize it after they do some time. It's selfish. I love my family. I die for my family. You go disappear from your family. Because you got mad at a dice game? Okay.
Yeah, God. So, like I say, anytime you want to host up with me, and we could definitely talk about it. And I appreciate that you came by and built with the God, man.
Absolutely, brother. It's good talk with you.
And like I say, we're gonna chop it up, and we're gonna bring back that work that you was doing, not just on that atmosphere, but on the whole baseball diamond. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I know exactly what you mean.
And again, man, so I appreciate you, and I got mad respect for you as always.
Likewise, brother.
And have a blessed night, and I'll hit you in the AM.
All right, peace.
Peace.